A little over a minute and the belt's back with Pereira. Merab did what Merab does, dominated with takedowns. Prochazka switched to full drunken master mode and snagged 2 bonuses. Pyfer out of nowhere drops Abus and gets the sub. UFC 320 in Las Vegas wrapped not long ago. One of the best cards this year. I'm breaking down the key moments, who cracked the top 15 and who just earned a shot at the belt. Hit subscribe and watch the full breakdown. Let's go. Hey everyone, here's a quick recap of UFC 320. Less than 2 minutes in, and the belt's back to Pereira. Merab dominated with his takedowns as always. Prochazka unleashed pure drunken master chaos and took home 2 bonuses. Pyfer dropped Magomedov out of nowhere and sealed it with a submission. That's the quick review. Thanks for watching. Bye. I'm just kidding. On a serious note, let's actually talk about how UFC 320 went. In my opinion, this was one of the best cards of the year. Some of the main card fights played out just like we predicted, but there were still those unpredictable moments you just can't foresee. That's why we like UFC. Let's jump straight into the fight of the night, Prochazka versus Roundtree. The first 2 rounds were all Roundtree working the body and legs, heavy low kicks to the lead leg, just like we said in the prediction. Liver shots, short bursts by the fence. Yuri takes a lot, but doesn't fold. He changes angles, feints to disrupt Roundtree's timing, dips into the clinch here and there, and fires knees. Roundtree stays disciplined. No wild rush to finish, just heavy and precise shots. At some point, it starts to feel like the sheer volume is going to crack the Czech's chin. In the third, Prochazka suddenly cranks up the intensity. He mixes slick slips and ducks with instant counters during exchanges and starts taking over the center of the cage. Then, he finds his moment. Straight right, followed up with short left. Roundtree's wobbled and Yuri doesn't let him off the hook. He throws 3 or 4 clean shots and it's a knockout at the 4-minute mark of round 3. Long story short, a classic Yuri fight. And that's exactly why fans love him. Dana White loves him too. As usual, he picked up the bonuses, fight of the night and performance of the night. And hey, we love him just as much because he keeps proving our picks right and our bets keep cashing. Who's the next title challenger for Pereira, Prochazka, or Ulberg? What do you guys think? Another banger, Abus Magomedov versus Joe Pyfer. Round 1. Pyfer's feinting a lot, popping the jab, gets Abus down, but Abus counters, reverses, and ends up on top in a dominant position. First round goes to Abus. Looks like a solid start. But in round 2, Pyfer turns it up to the body and head. Abus eats a few punches and gets dropped. Pyfer slaps on an arm triangle. Abus defends, so Joe takes the back and finishes the fight with a rear naked choke. Another banger, Abus Magomedov versus Joe Pyfer. Round 1, Pyfer's feinting a lot, popping the jab, gets Abus down, but Abus counters, reverses, and ends up on top in a dominant position. First round goes to Abus. Looks like a solid start. But in round 2, Pyfer turns it up to the body and head. Abus eats a few punches and gets dropped. Pyfer slaps on an arm triangle. Abus defends, but Joe takes the back and finishes the fight with a rear naked choke. The stand-up to ground transitions were clean. Pyfer delivered a great performance. He looks ready for the top 15. Magomedov, meanwhile, needs a reset and some serious work on his ground defense. On to the co-main event. Merab Dvalishvili takes a unanimous decision over Corey Sandhagen. 5 rounds of pressure and dominance. Exactly like we predicted. Merab spends all night dominating Corey with level changes, trips, dumps, and throws. Basically the full wrestling toolkit on display, like it's a drill session. On top of that, Merab kept crashing the pocket and tagging Corey with heavy shots. He even rocked him once and almost forced a stoppage. But Corey survived. Corey had his jab and those intercepting knees, but every time Merab ducked in for entries and takedowns, it broke Corey's rhythm. Clear win on volume and control. Merab stays the bantamweight kingpin, just like we predicted in the breakdown. And finally, the main event, Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira. Even though we picked Ankalaev, we warned you. Nobody's safe from eating one single Pereira shot and getting switched off in a heartbeat. That's exactly what happened. There isn't much to break down as the fight lasted just over a minute. Pereira came storming forward from the opening seconds. Kill or be killed. Ankalaev had to back up, got pinned to the fence, and that's where the right hook found him. Knockdown. A stunned Ankalaev tried to grab a leg, but Alex pounded away with massive shots and elbows, drilling him into the canvas. The ref gave Ankalaev a moment to recover, but there was no way out. Pereira gets his belt back. At least Ankalaev got the biggest paycheck for a Russian fighter since Khabib, but that doesn't make the loss any less bitter, especially after some of the things he said before the fight. As for us, yeah, that missed pick hurt, but as a rule, we get most of our picks right. This time we got 2 out of 4 on this card. Logged it, and we move on. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and get inside info from fighter camps, how they're preparing, plus full fight analytics, hop into our Telegram channel. You'll find everything you need for upcoming fights and betting angles. Let's be honest, the hype and emotions hit different when you've got some money on your favorite. See you in the next one.